Hello and welcome to the Pit. My name is Solin Outlander and... what resolution is this? Well, apparently that is in fact 2K resolution. It just... I don't know, the size of the mouse and how... yeah, that feels weird. Speaking of while I'm here, audio... music, blah blah blah, all looks good, video. Yeah, definitely don't have motion blur. Do I need that? I only have the one GPU. Anyway, hello! We are here playing 7 years after the previous game. 7 years too late. We are playing King Arthur 2, the tactical role-playing wargame. And we will be playing the prologue. Then we will be playing main. And I will... look at the size of that. Yes, I am dawdling on the... wait. Look at the size of it. Let's just get on with it. Prologue. Challenging. Presumably Morgana Le Fay. She's given me a very, dour look.
Long before the glorious days of King Arthur, even before his father Uther Pendragon was born, Britannia saw the arrival of the legions. In the name of the Roman emperors they invaded the south, then set out to conquer the whole land. At the northernmost point of their conquest, where they met the savage Picts, they halted and founded a giant fort of Iberacum. Iberacum grew and became the capital of the northern provinces. But the Romans who came here never felt at ease. They feared Britannia, the wizards, and the gods in the woods. They knew that something ancient was slumbering beyond Iberacum, up in the north. So the Roman Emperor Hadrian decided to build a wall to protect his land. Legends speak of Hadrian's wits and his mastery in the arcane, but some say he had help from a young wizard called Merlin. The wall was magnificent, and for a long time stone and magic kept out the tribes and everything else that lurked out in the cold. Then, times changed. When the fabled 9th Legion disappeared beyond the wall, it was the turn of the tide. The Romans slowly withdrew from Britannia. But 5 noble families decided to stay in Iberacum. They succumbed to decadence and fought over the remnants of their former glory, until a young monarch in the south, a Briton called Arthur, changed everything. The flames of magic flared up again, and a new age of wonders began. The noble families realized that it was the time they had been waiting for. While King Arthur was uniting the south, they were busy squabbling over their possible leader. The Sulla family seemed to be the right choice to build a new Iberacum, but not everyone agreed. The family's enemies were merely waiting for the right moment to deal with the Sullas and their heir, the valiant Septimus. The right moment is now. Something terrible has happened in the south, where King Arthur rules the land. Meanwhile, Iberacum is under threat from the north. The wall cannot hold back the Picts much longer. When Septimus left his family, his bride, and his friends and rode off to battle, he was betrayed by his own kind. They abandoned him and his warriors in the heat of the battle, and he found himself alone, surrounded by savages. Still, he fought valiantly, until a fateful blow sent him sprawling to the ground. The Picts left him there, on the other side of the wall, in the firm belief that he was dead, and they were almost right. Septimus Sulla lay among the fallen for a very long time, and then, suddenly, he opened his eyes.
And because of the light glare, closed them again.
When you open your eyes, you can't decide whether you're awake or in some kind of dream. You stand upon a soaring mountaintop, looking down on a thick layer of clouds beneath your feet. It is almost as if you were in the abode of the gods. Could it be that? You ponder. But your thoughts are interrupted by an ethereal yet powerful voice.
Who are you? No solicitors.
Who are you, lost soul? And why have you crossed into the land of savages?
That's my class. So, for the prologue, as these Romans, I will be playing evil. I will also make myself... I am Septimus Sulla, the champion of Ibracum. Who are you?
Your reply merely echoes in the celestial void at first, but then the apparition of an elderly figure manifests itself before you. He addresses you with a faint smile and an air of absolute authority.
A Roman champion. Well then, I am honored to meet someone with such a rare vocation. But let's see what else we can learn about you.
Sure.
As he speaks, you realize that you know him. You have seen his face on marble statues 100 times before. This is the great Emperor Hadrian himself, who died centuries ago. You begin to struggle with this impossible thought, but your pondering is cut short when you are beset by a series of visions. Still, images form and melt away, one after another. You soon realize that these are scenes from your own past, but they are all hazy and lack details. Finally, the visions stop, and you are left staring at one of your past battles.
Ah, so that's the kind of champion you are.
The people's champion. Those fugitive slaves deserved no mercy. The crowd cheered at their deaths when I killed 3 of them with each strike.
Yes, indeed. Your skills have brought you many victories, and yet here you are. Tell me, how is it that the barbarians defeated the mighty Septimus Sulla? Have the Romans become so weak, or was it your strategy which was flawed?
There was no mistake. I was betrayed by the Caracallas. All of my soldiers are dead because of them.
It seems the apparition intends to discuss the reasons for your defeat further, but the thought of the betrayal fills you with sudden rage. Enough, you say. I have answered your questions. Now you answer mine. Who are you, and what is this place?
Indeed, you have the right to know. I was once known as Emperor Hadrian, and you are in my prison. As you know, I mastered the arcane arts in my life, and created many arcane objects for the glory of Rome. My greatest creation was the wall, and yet it is not the reason I'm here.
The dreaded words.
Unbeknownst to me, when I first bound magic to an object of personal vanity, I also bound my eternal soul to it. Thus I became part of my golden wreath, unable to let it go, even after death. Centuries passed, and now only a fragment of the wreath remains, but that is enough to keep me here.
So... am I dead?
You have been mortally wounded, yes, but your heart still beats. Still, you would have died had you not stumbled upon my wreath. It is fortunate that you did, for both of us. But your questions will have to wait. I must first show you something. Much has happened since you marched north, and there are many things that you must know. While you were fighting savages, an enemy struck at your home. An enemy you are not aware of.
The Emperor falls silent and lets you watch another stream of images which depict a bloody assault on your home. You can only look on in horror as everything you hold dear is ruthlessly destroyed.
Your family, your bride, even your lands, all gone. You have lost much, but you may yet save some of what you have. In this place, our powers combined can alter the very fabric of reality, and thus we can change what is about to happen. But your life is fading away, and we cannot risk you dying. We can only make one change, so you must choose.
Then save the trading post. Filthy villagers won't help me extract my vengeance.
Very good. You have now faced the past and the present, but you have not yet faced the future, and you must see it to know what you must do. All your suffering, all the devastation you've seen, is just a prelude to something much worse. I thought it was inevitable, until your arrival provided us with a chance. But it all hinges on you now.
On me?
This is what will happen if you die. This is what will be if you don't walk the path that destiny has chosen for you. Our people have grown decadent and weak. Divided and leaderless, they cannot withstand what is to come. The members of your murdered family will have been the lucky ones. There is a reason you found me, Septimus, and together we shall face a monumental task. With the power of my wreath, you shall return from the dead and chisel the world around you until it has a future again. You must rebuild the legions and unite the squabbling families. You must restore the glory of Rome so it can stand firm against the tide of the coming darkness. While the rest of the world burns, a new Rome shall stand. But first, you must reclaim what you have lost. You shall return home, bury your dead, rebuild, and gather your strength. Your people and your soldiers await you. There is much to be done before the name Septimus Sulla is known by all.
Very well. If it is my destiny to forge a new Rome, then so be it.
On your way home, you meet an army of Roman soldiers headed towards the heart of the Sulla estate. The leaders are retired Sulla veterans, whom your father charged with taking some of the family treasures to safety when the rebellion started. After the Senate proved too slow to respond to the crisis, they took the initiative and used the funds to raise troops. They are overjoyed to see you alive and insist that you lead them against the rebels personally.
Oh, with pleasure. Right. I have to go through the tutorial. This is the objectives window. It displays the tasks that I must complete to progress in the game. I currently have one active objective. To complete it, I must finish the related secondary tasks, which are shown to the right. Okay, whatever. Yes, I know how to move. Thank you. And as far as I'm aware, that's unskippable. I have done the prologue before, 7 years ago, when I first recorded a playthrough of this in order to, put on my channel, but events conspired against me in that regard. Warriors, but then 3 batches of infantry, 3 batches of archers, and bold Caedmon. Oh, I will kill you, bold Caedmon. You won't be so bold after I'm done with you. Ah. Swoosh. I mean, on the upside, at least this time it looks like the graphics flow better. Last time I recorded it, 7 years ago, the frame rate had a penchant for being rather shocking. Great, thank you. I don't need you. Go away. Right. So the monuments here grant me the abilities. I like the sound of that statue. That is awesome. What does this one do? Rejuvenation spell. Soldiers in the unit heal for 300 HP. I like that. And what's more, I have 2 sets of cavalry to run to those. So, I mean, one thing about this is one of the big appeals for King Arthur back in the day was its total war but with magic. We now have Warhammer Total War, which is Warhammer, but, which is Total War, but with magic, so, one of the big appeals of this was taken away, although it was still first. It was still glorious. Right, they have the Bless spell over there. Right, Squad 2, and you will all be here. Auxilia, Legionaries, and Spearmen. I think the Spearmen are a bit redundant right now. They don't have any cavalry, that I saw at any rate. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I am probably wrong. Ah, why are you there? Ooh. And deployment finished. Right. I don't usually do the pausing midst battle, but beginning of the battle to get the ball rolling, I will freely use it. Sort of the pre-battle orders, basically. That's all I needed to do. Now, archers, advance. Oops. Was there a button to see my... Oh, the joys of it being so long. Was there a button so that I could see the orders and where everyone was going? Was it Alt? No. Was it Tab? No, Tab just highlights the units. Hello. Kill those rebel warriors. How dare they try to take the temple? Are you charging or are you walking? There we go. Oh, right, spearman.
The enemy hero is casting a spell.
Oh god, he's casting a spell. Whatever will I do? Right, excuse me a second. Options, controls. Is there a, Ooh, intelligent camera zoom. It doesn't look like there's a button for seeing orders. That's irritating.
Your magic shield is under normal strength.
Run. Right, they're winning. I now have a lightning bolt. I see rebel archers.
Your spell was absorbed.
Right, yes, the magic shield. Fun times.
A spell has been cast.
He pronounces that really weird. It's a spell has been cast. Right, Septimus has Hadrian's Reef. Hadrian's Reef is good for some particularly potent spells, but it needs the blood of fallen enemies to actually... Now, this is the point where you back up archers. Yes. Helps if I go the right way. It's cleave. What is that coward doing? I can't cast that while fighting, fair enough.
A spell was cast.
Oh good, it was cast. Yeah, could you fight Bold Caedmon? That's who I wanted you to fight. Oh, that bloomin' cavalry unit's not doing so hot. He's still fighting up there. Four, 3, 2, 1. Lightning. Boom!
The enemy has cast a spell.
Enemy can cast all the spells they want. Ooh, I can cast Scarlet Mist now. Soul Surge. Ugh, no, I don't like that one.
The enemy has cast a spell.
The enemy can cast all the spells at once, it won't help it. Ah, hello. Looks like Bold Caedmon is dead. Is that unit still alive? Yes, cluster.
The enemy has cast a spell.
Oh goody, the enemy's cast yet another spell.
Victory is near.
So, Scarlet Mist is a very potent spell. I'd rather wait before using it right now. Let's save the good stuff. I mean, as you can see, I have 4 out of 8 essence. I don't know how much essence this is costing me. Oh, 3. Helps if I actually read the bloody thing. Right, I think we're at the point where I can just increase the speed. Die, die, die. Blech. And victory is mine. Die, archers. Badunk. I would say that that's a very good kill-death ratio. Right. I have gold, I have a blessed gauntlet, and a malachite ring. Ooh, malachite ring's kind of good. That's good for the bodyguards. I think they'll take different slots as well, so bonus in all regards. I must now prove myself to the Senate according to this objective. What's it, doodah? Without capturing any victory locations. That's something I ideally need to do sooner rather than later. Kill 500 soldiers with magical spells. I could have sworn I've already done some of that, but I'll take your word for it that I haven't. That one will just come over time. Control over the Sular province. A major item. And as you can see by the highlighted and dimmed bits, major items I need to unlock what they can do. Ooh. Lightning immunity. 2,000 gold. Awesome. So, yeah, I know it's in the thank you. So I will move to it once it lets me. Oh, it helps if I click the right button. Dwee. I'm an idiot. I'm sure you've learnt this by now.
You survived the deadly silence at the wall. You came home and took back what belonged to you. However, that was only the beginning. Now you have to enter a real viper's nest. The marble halls of Ibaracum, where you'll face the representatives of the noble families. In order to fulfill your destiny, you must have yourself acknowledged as a senator.
Well then, time to do what I do best. Talk at people.
For the first time in your life, you see the main square of Iberacum as the perfect symbol of what the provinces have become. Crumbling palaces, cracked flagstones, all hidden in the shadows of the past, cringing before the gigantic statues built by Emperor Hadrian.
Yes, Emperor Hadrian. The original Donald Trump. Let's build a wall.
On the broad steps of the Senate building, you come across an unusually large gathering where small groups gather to scheme and gossip. The news of your return must have reached here sooner than you'd thought. You feel their questioning stares while you are climbing the steps. Muffled voices herald your arrival in the gloomy vaulted hall. You notice that some of the senators quickly withdraw into the shadows. You walk briskly past the row of marble columns and enter the chamber of the Senate. The chamber of the Senate resembles a large cauldron where the rows of seats gradually descend towards the speaker's stand. When you arrive, the only person there is the censor, the administrator responsible for keeping the catalogue of the meetings, but the crowd follows you.
I don't care about tradition and walk straight to the speaker's stand.
Noble senators, I'm aware that my behavior may strike you as offensive. Some of you think my words defy tradition. But take into consideration the sad events that befell my family. This matter is of the gravest urgency. If I'm not a senator, I can't address you properly. If you want to formally discuss my request, I'll wait here. However, considering the urgency of the matter I intend to present before you, I'm willing to share my thoughts with you before the formal session.
You pause and the hall is filled with an excited buzz. Cornelius, the head of the merchant family Severus, nods to the augur in his traditional robe with the blood-red stripes. The augur invokes the blessings of the gods on the assembly and opens the session.
This is the time to turn the senators against the whole Severus family. Isn't it the, Trying to remember who it was that supposedly screwed me over. Wasn't it the Caracallas? This is the time to turn the senators against the whole Severus family.
Cornelius Severus is the highest-ranking senator here. Of that there is no doubt, you say. But he is not the Senate. The muttering becomes louder, and you have to raise your voice. He is entitled to speak in front of the Senate first, but he doesn't lead this noble gathering.
The senators argue among themselves for a while, carefully weighing every word. It takes a while until the noise in the hall subsides. Then an elderly member of the Ordo Equester raises to speak. The aging senator puts your request to the vote, and the senators reach a unanimous agreement. Afterwards, Cornelius Severus walks to the speaker's platform, but only to ask you to speak.
I will walk straight to the speaker's platform. Subtlety has no meaning to me.
Senators,
You begin bitterly.
you ordered me to the wall to help the Caracalla family against the invading Picts. And then I was left alone, betrayed by those who sought my help. Lies, shouts one of the Caracallas. We had to move back to our states to defend ourselves.
Excuse me?
You glare at Senator Caracalla.
Your estates were far away from any danger, and the place where you set up your camp is a day's walk from the wall.
The senator suddenly looks more relaxed, and he even tries a weak smile.
Prove it, Sulla! Otherwise these are just empty words!
Senator Caracalla continues.
Due to some unforeseen circumstances we were delayed. That much is true. But look who is talking about betrayal! The leader who survived the battle without any wounds! So he deftly accuses you of cowardice and places you under scrutiny.
I will show them my scars, risking some questions, including that wonderful arrow wound to my buttocks.
Excited murmuring sweeps through the hall. These wounds would have sent an average man to death's door, but here you are, with only the pink scars of your healed wounds as a reminder. There aren't any healers in Iberarchum who could perform such a miracle, that is for sure.
Yes, he looks like he's giving excited murmuring, doesn't he?
Anticipating the next question, you speak first.
I have no idea which god was gracious enough to spare my life, but I'll say my prayers for all of them.
You say, trying to head off any accusations.
Or perhaps it was a demon,
Roars Caracalla.
You are a bastard and I turn against you.
Gods create. Demons are the harbingers of destruction. Just ask any priest, or those who meddle in the art of black magic.
The uproar shakes the hall. Senator Caracalla glares at you. As a scholar, he's been researching the cult of death that helped to build the wall.
But my well-being is hardly a matter worthy of your precious attention. I have more important things to say now. Most of my warriors died in that battle. I was left for dead, bleeding from my wounds, and it is a miracle that I survived. And for what? To come home and see my family destroyed, my estates burned to the ground? I stood up for you and you betrayed me.
The senators exchange ashamed glances. Instead of the usual commotion, this time eerie silence fills the marble hall.
Very ashamed. Compensation, or do I get them thinking about a conspiracy? I will tell them I suspect the existence of a conspiracy.
I'm talking about the series of seemingly accidental events that somehow still led to the destruction of my family. Don't they sound suspicious? Should I also mention the absence of the Caracalla family from the battle, or the unknown soldiers who looted my lands?
The senators can't contain their anger anymore. The noise quickly becomes deafening.
These are only assumptions. We demand proof.
However, you sense uncertainty in the air that is far from the angry disbelief that they display.
Then I shall sow more seeds of suspicion.
I can't prove anything, and that's the beauty of it. The conspirators were clever, but you are mistaken if you believe that the destruction of my family will be the end of this. I fear that those behind these machinations have a much greater goal: to rule New Rome.
As you do. Now, this is the right time to discuss my compensation.
You all know the consultum the Senate passed 100 years ago. That decree set the terms that still apply to the families lending military or financial help for the protection of the wall. Namely, that all losses sustained must be covered by the other families. The Sulla family defended the wall, and thus the whole realm against the tide of the Picts. And what was the price we paid? We lost everything. Our soldiers, slaves, and estates are gone, not to mention the personal losses. I demand compensation.
As you do.
Cornelius rises from his bench.
We need time to study the decree that Septimus Sulla quoted with such fervour. It would be unwise to make the provinces of Iberarchum pay for someone's mistakes in leadership, or the inexperience of his family in the treatment of their slaves.
That's unacceptable. I clearly show my temper this time.
I'm ready to prove my worth as a military leader. Am I wrong to suppose that the Senate is unable to decide even such a trifling matter? A weak Senate is the sign of a weak Iberacum.
The uproar is so loud that it's almost ear-piercing. This is clearly a debate that will go into the annals of the Senate. Finally, the augur has to intervene personally, but it takes some time until everyone calms down. Now the Senate will vote on the matter of your compensation.
Thank you.
The Senate offers you 2,000 gold and grants you an auxiliary force until you've gathered a new army.
Thank you. It's better than a kick in the teeth at any rate. The debate is over. The Caracallas leave the hall immediately. Horatius Quintus family assures me of his support. You meet Cornelius Severus at the door. He smiles at me and calls me senator. Still, I'd give anything to know what's going on in his head. The Massalas don't like me, the Severus don't like me, but the Quintus do. For God's sake. Yeah, great, thanks. Close. Yay! When you receive a new hero or unit, they will also arrive here. Okay. Chronicle. On my way home, I met an army of Roman soldiers headed to the heart of the Sulla estate. The leaders are retired Sulla veterans, whom my father charged with taking some of the family treasures to safety. So this is basically the exact same thing. Long before the reign of William Pendragon and the rise of King Arthur, long before the New Age of Wonder, the Romans conquered Britannia and ruled the land for a very long time. They built cities, forts and roads, and slowly expanded their authority over a significant part of the island. The first Roman general to invade Britannia was Julius Caesar, and many future emperors began their rise to the throne as governors in Britannia. After conquering the south, the Romans marched against Wales, and in the following years they moved northward until they reached the northern region they called Caledonia. By that time they had already lost a large body of soldiers garrisoned on the island, and it seemed that they were going to be there for a very long time. When the Romans began their conquest to expand the empire, they weren't aware that Britannia was a land of myth and legend, where dark woods led to the realms of the Sidhe, and the ruins from a bygone era harboured monsters and otherworldly secrets. The Romans constantly felt threatened, and rightly so, and to make matters worse, when they reached the northern forests, they had to begin their never-ending battles with their sworn enemies, the savage Picts. Time passed and the Roman provinces grew, but they never quite prospered like other regions of the empire. Inner strife, civil war, and the constant outside threats led to anarchy, and then eventually the fall of the province of Britannia. Still, when the Romans slowly but inevitably withdrew from Britannia, they left a rich heritage behind, colossal ruins, towns and relics, and a whole town full of those who didn't want to leave. The town that is now called Iberacum was founded as a fortress on the very border of the Roman Empire, in the northern region of Britannia, called Britannia Inferior. It was built by the legendary 9th Legion, who wanted to construct a military settlement to aid in their conquest of the local Brigantes tribes and the Picts of the north. Iberacum grew quickly. First it became a trading post for the local tribesmen, and attracted Roman citizens from the south, among them the founders of the present-day noble families. When Emperor Hadrian visited the town, he brought along a whole legion, and plenty of his retinue decided to return to the city. Eboracum prospered, and became a true Roman town under the grey skies of rainy Britannia, with an arena, bathhouses, palaces, and decadent families. The disappearance of the 9th Legion signalled the beginning of the end. Still, when the Romans left Britannia for good, most of the inhabitants of Eboracum decided to stay, and so began the long decline of this once majestic city. For a long time, Eboracum was only a shadow of its former self, with dilapidated palaces, abandoned avenues, and ruined bathhouses. But the spirit of the former conquerors has returned, and the miraculous changes that a young Briton monarch called Arthur Pendragon released into the world. And after that, the noble families of Eboracum realised that they still have the means to become a powerful force in Britannia. However, the senseless bickering and the constant intrigue among the senators have hindered those plans so far.